Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Hope you're doing well. Happy Thursday to you. Today is February 8th, 288 on the date, whatever that may mean to you. We got a new moon coming up tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow. But I just didn't feel like getting into it today. I want to keep it simple, maybe even short and sweet if possible. So I'll probably chit chat about that tomorrow in a message and a reading. It's not until later in the evening, so more than likely I'll be able to get in and get out before the energy actually, is prevalent. But just be mindful, new moon tomorrow. I'm sure it's something powerful nonetheless. Honestly, I can't even remember what sign it's in right now. Oh, duh, it would have to be. If it's a new moon, it's an Aquarius. I'm tripping. Full moons are what change and shift. But if it's a new moon, then it's definitely an Aquarius. So yeah, certainly powerful and probably a little bit unpredictable too, but we'll see. I'll channel that energy tomorrow. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not going to drag the small talk, the chit chat. How's the weather out there? Type of vibes. Let's see what we got. Oh, Five of Cups. What's somebody sad about? Somebody sad? I guess I'll take it out. I usually don't like to take energies like this out, but that's such a intense way to start that I need to know why that's the case. So we got the Five of Cups, which could be, it's a very dense energy. It could be regret, remorse, hopelessness, sadness, depression, shame, guilt. Could be a lot of things. None of them all too great though. It's like somebody that isn't quite connected to their range of possibilities. They're only seeing what they've lost or how they've lost or how they're losing maybe. But not seeing that there are two cups behind them, which represent the possibility for advancement in some way, shape, or form. Recuperation is what I hear. Recuperation, so it could be a matter of even poor health or having bad news about health. But there's some spiritual, if nothing else, if not physical, because it's not the Five of Pentacles, which is definitely a reflection of poor health, but it could be a spiritual disease here. So let's see. Ooh. Definitely not going to take all that, but got the Ten of Wands. Strength card that want to get away from me. And the Six of Cups. So this is someone that's mourning the loss of I was going to say a relationship, but That would be a stretch to really call it that. And the Six of Cups, some engagement of sorts that they used to have an upper hand in with the Six of Cups, but now, and it was familial. I said familial, so it could be family, but I meant to say familiar. It was something that was comfortable, more or less. But honestly, I'm just going to say it without dragging it too much. It just feels like somebody that misses the upper hand and the connection that they used to have, and they gambled in some way, shape, or form and lost. It's like somebody, we go from here's the Five of Cups, but really it's only really two because three of those cups are spilled. So somebody has lost maybe up to 4 cups, which would be, what's the Four of Cups? Dang, why can't I see the Four of Cups right now? The Four of Cups is, oh, that's a missed opportunity. Yeah, so exactly what I said. So somebody missed an opportunity either to close a cycle, because with the Six of Cups, it could be to stop the regeneration of a cycle that is not forwarding, or it could be to have the regeneration of a cycle that is in a more progressive sense. But either way, it's like somebody gambled on that. It's like they saw, okay, so this is what it is. Like they saw the potential, like they weighed their options, their what's the one when you gamble, what is that? Their odds. Like they weighed their odds against a potential connection. And what they wagered ultimately wasn't the winning bet. So maybe somebody thought that something was played out, is what I'm hearing in my head. I don't know why, but like a relationship was played out. It has made it had reached its fullest potential and didn't really see the possibility for it being regenerative or even anything beyond what it once was, or I don't know. But what I'm getting is that somebody wagered and they lost. And ultimately, the Strength card here is that because they wagered a certain way, they lost the upper hand in that connection, and now they're stuck with the loss has become a great burden. So it's not just a matter of, oh, okay, well, one that got away. It's like there's more that has, how can I say this? There's more that loss that has been added on to, more struggle or something that's been added on to that bet that's been lost than simply just what was wagered. Like somebody, I don't really know, even though I'm a Sagittarius and kind of like, gambling is kind of in my wheelhouse a little bit. I don't really know the terminology for betting and gambling because I don't really do it much, not in the traditional sense. I gamble in different ways with luck and stuff like that, but not so much like casino or cards or betting or stuff like that, or games like sporting games. But it's given the energy that somebody like doubled their, it just wasn't a matter of like losing what they put up. It was like they advanced their odds in such a way, like they stacked their odds, if this is making sense to those that know what I'm trying to say, to the point where if they were to lose, it would put them in even more of a deficit or debt than if they had kind of kept the bet safe, you know? Now, energetically speaking, this could be, especially in terms of relationship, where somebody, not only did they say like, oh no, I don't think that's the winning situation for me. They put all of their money into something else that really, not only did they lose what they had, okay, so that's how it makes sense. Not only did they lose what they had and something that would have been a winning hand or whatever, they also invested all or much of what they had into something that was absolutely a losing gamble, a losing hand. And they lost even more than what they came in with to start. And now they're in a great deal of debt, energetically speaking. And it seems like we're talking, there's no pentacles on the board, by the way, but this is like a spiritual gamble and an energetic wager that has happened. So somebody lost a great deal of energy, time, power, creativity by wagering on something or someone that ultimately swept everything. I just heard their life savings. That's what I literally just heard. So it's like somebody bet it all, you know, put it all on red. Not on black. They put it all on red. And as there's some type of red substance spilling out in those cups, and they literally had to walk away from the table with nothing. And now they don't know how they're going to get home. They don't know how, you know, they're going to pay their mortgage. They don't know how they're going to pay the car note. It's like they gave everything away to this bet because they just knew that if the higher they wagered, the greater the win. But it just didn't turn out to be so. Like, this was too much of a safe bet over here with the Six of Cups. Or there's like I said, this is like a dual energy, as I said, where one situation was like a karmic regeneration of the same, like a relationship that was just codependent, toxic, or just had all the red flags pretty much. And the other one was, but of course we know, like, the higher the stakes, the more, like I said, like as if I know, but the higher the stakes, the more opportunity for the win. The stakes were lower on the other side, you know, with the relationship, that maybe somebody that you pretty much feel like you know them, they don't show that they're going to really bring much excitement to your life, or you just feel familiar. As I said, if you know how they say familiarity breeds contempt. Like somebody that feels like they know all there is to know about a potential partner, or even the potential of a partnership to go as far as it can possibly go. And it just didn't tantalize the senses as much. Like, yeah, I could bet on that, but I'm probably only going to get but this much out. Well, come to find out that it was the flip-flop. Like, there was actually more to be won with the so-called safe bet in the long run than it was with the high stakes. That's what this is. These are high stakes with the Ten of Wands in the short run. So I'm gonna leave that there because it's a struggle for me. Like, yeah, literally a struggle. Like I said, now in a position where it's like a financial imbalance, an energetic imbalance. First Pentacles on the board, and it's the Two of Pentacles. The only thing that could be less is the Page at this point. And not even really, because the Page is kind of a part of the court to some degree. It really is the Ace. I feel like that's the first one, but I feel like the Ace is in such a high regard that, you know, but ultimately the point is that in terms of Pentacles, you don't want to be leading with the only material energy in this more or less struggle position, where now he's got to figure out how he's going to make ends meet, because he lost the bet. Ooh, now here's the Queen of Pentacles. So he gambled on a Queen of Pentacles. Or hold on, because this is on this side. Ooh. Oh. This is the energy that was absorbed, perhaps, in that loss. Like, this is who now is. Remember, I said it's like he gambled on one partnership and gave everything he had to it and came up short, like came up with nothing. Maybe this is who absorbed. This could either be, this could either be the energy that he lost to, or lost with, I should say, more or less, that now has absorbed all of his resources, all his energy, all of his time. Like, this is who he ended up giving it all to. But what I don't love is this Three of Pentacles behind it, because it's given that this was some type of collaborative effort, that she may have not been working alone to coerce this bet or this wager. The Three of Pentacles is definitely working together. May even be work. It could be an inflection of work sometimes, but I always say, like, these days it looks like a bank, it could look like a court, it could look like some type of establishment of sorts, like with these archways and pillars and things like that, like somewhere where business is handled, is pretty much what I'm trying to get to. And I don't like the vibes of it. Either this is her as a part of this whole, or this is what force was behind her ambitions to kind of like allure him into the wager in the first place. Let me see what's after the three. World card. Well, whatever it was, it's ended. Because the World card has brought something to a close, whether it's this collaboration, this partnership, this plot or plan, this losing dynamic. Because it's just feeling like it's like he's struggling and juggling, but as a Queen of Pentacles, she's holding the upper hand. Because the Queen of Pentacles is financially stable, sound, and abundant. So maybe where I've had this experience before with the Three of Pentacles, where it feels like a memory, like something like that happened already, like a flashback or something. So it could be that whatever they wagered on together that would have accumulated this wealth to even be lost or gambled in the first place, it was something dark and mystical, or mysterious at least. And I just get the sense that even though it looks like she's holding the card, she's holding the bag or the coin here with the Queen of Pentacles, something has come to an end for the two of them. Like they're both in the same boat. Because this World card is bringing some cycle to a close where they're not, there's the whatever prosperity was here's the ace of swords. Whatever prosperity was, I was almost about to say wielded too before the sword popped out, but really it's yielded, but I almost said wielded. Whatever whatever fortune was accumulated or obtained on account of these efforts, because remember, this was a losing wager. So either way, this like could have been a couple that, like I said, this is a difference between the safe bet and the high stakes. So it could have been, as opposed to this safe, sweet little, happy little life, simple life that could have been lived, that seemed like it, would have been on the slow pace to success. Someone took the high risk experience where it was on the fast track. So, with fast track energy comes fast track ambitions and actions. And they're not always, it was a test of will here. That's the Strength card in the middle. Of will, of pride, of ego, but certainly between the primal nature and your spiritual self and how that human being balances the two. And this is someone that veered a bit more off into the primal nature, which is where all the burdens were picked up because of the ambitions that were activated to acquire some level of prosperity or prominence, power, position, something. That's what the wager was for, especially for him. But in the end, it seemed like she got more out of the deal than what he had the expectation to, where he spent more, he expended more to play, you know what I mean? Or like to sit at the table, he wagered more. And even still though, now it's like something, if not someone, is at a loss anyway. Like it doesn't even matter. It's like that was for a time, and it I don't know, like it's like that season of success is now come to a close. It was productive for a time. It's like when you're winning at the table, I'm thinking but more of casino when I keep saying at the table. Like when you're winning, you don't want to, it's like you're on a winning streak, you don't want to stop, because it's like some people have the will, the self-control to say, you know what, I'm gonna take my wins and I'm gonna move on, But some people are incited by the win, and it's like, well, shoot, my luck is this high. Let me keep on going. Like, why not? Or they feel on this. They feel like this inflated sense of luck that you wouldn't want to you wouldn't want to cut short, because what if that next bet is the biggest jackpot you've ever seen? But the problem is, eventually, the chips do fall. Like eventually you're gonna lose at some point in time. And it's like somebody didn't know when to say when. Like they literally didn't know how to quit while they were ahead. Until the point where then they were behind, which then would incite you to want to try to re-up again, or to, recoup your losses. But at that point in time, it's like, as I said before, not only did you lose what you came here to gamble with, or what you left, like what you gambled against, you lost everything that you won when you were up. So now there's like no money to play with. You can't gamble with nothing. Damn sure not at the casino. You at least need to have $1 or something. Oh, damn, and here it go. The 5 of Pentacles. And you know why we started with the 5 of Cups? Because somebody was in a poverty mindset, or in a poverty spirit in the first place, to even take this type of risk, to see something more as a win in the energy that I've explained it, than something that was stable, grounded, secure. Somebody couldn't be satisfied spiritually to start, which is what incited the gambling. I'm struggling not to call it addiction. For a couple times I've almost said addiction, so maybe there's something on that. Their gambling habit, or fixation, engagement, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to call it addiction, because it's kind of like, that's a strong word. But keep in mind that it's there. It's coming up for a reason. Somebody just didn't know when to say enough was enough. Ah, damn. Judgment. Damn. And they had to wait for, it's like they surrendered their self-control to this habit, or this ambition, this fixation, until the point where it had, like, the decisions had to be called for them. Like spirit had to call judgment or something, like you've had enough, cash your chips in. If you had, like, you don't even really have anymore. Even at the 5, it's like, it's almost like the pentacles are in the house, like the house wins type of energy, which is funny because my grandmother was a blackjack dealer in the Showboat Casino in Atlantic City for years when I was younger, for years. And I thought it was the most glamorous job, in hindsight, it's like grandma was just doing her thing, But when I was younger, her working in a casino, and she's the one that taught me how to shuffle cards, because she always had cards and chips and stuff in her house, and I used to play with them. But it's funny that I'm speaking about this, so I feel that energy here, especially with the Judgment card, like some resurrective energy, which I know her spirit is still with me. I know for a fact that she's one of my spiritual guides and guardians for sure. But yeah, it's like somebody, you know, with, it's like this is like the window of the casino or something, and the chips are in there, the coins are in there. They're out here, like I said, they don't know how they get home. So okay, so that pretty much solidifies what I said up here, where it's like I feel like both of them are out of luck at this point. And here it is. That's the confirmation. That it's not just him. She may have duped him in some type of way, or just became almost like this black hole that he was given to, like continuously pouring money. And it might not even be actually gambling in the sense that I'm speaking of it practically. It's like they gambled on their lives, or he gambled more so on his soul given to this partnership. It's like where you could have had like a wholesome gal, you chose to be with the Jezebel type of energy, and she ended up being more kind of like superficial and a gold digger, and like a sugar baby type of energy. Like she didn't really care. There's no cups in that connection, which is why he's at with spilled cups up here, because there wasn't a spiritual or even an emotional exchange so much as it was material. Well, that was the motivation. And I don't know what the investment was for, because I don't really get the sense that he was all that love struck either, which is why there's a disparity between the choices and the gambling. It's like it was more material for him too. Maybe the advancement of the partnership and what it could yield and their co-creativity, as opposed to like gambling on love. It's like, what's love got to do with it type of vibes. But I guess it's just it could be just as simple as that. But where he thought it was going to be a mutual come up, it ended up being very one-sided. And she was like a gimme girl. Like, well, I need my hair done. I need my nails done. I need to look the part. I need to, it's like every time he turned around, he was giving out more money. I want to go on trips. So maybe even like that energy of the, I call them the commercial couple, social media, type of energy couples, where you gotta more or less give your audience something to care about. You need to look the part of the power couple, to go on the expensive trips, to have the expensive gadgets, to have the big house, to have the lavish lifestyle, the fancy cars, the exciting adventures every day, never a dull moment. You have to keep up with that facade or that presentation at least, in order for it to end up being a return on your investment. And it seems like somebody had invested a lot. That makes a lot more sense. They invested in what they thought would be a better presentation of a partnership, but they ended up giving so much on the front end to that investment that it's like they crapped out. It's like they crapped out because they didn't gain anything from it emotionally or energetically. They actually lost a lot of energy, and it didn't even yield the return on the investments. It's like they didn't even make good on what they invested, let alone having lost all of what they actually made in the process, if that makes sense. That's the energy of the gambling that I was trying to get to. And now it's like both of them are out in the cold. And now this is the presence of physical disease, misfortune, lack, poverty, disconnection, maybe even having to really face the reality of the true nature of this partnership that they've orchestrated, because the money is no longer, something about false identities here, because I often feel that way with the Three of Pentacles, like but it could be also the energy of them posing to be a certain type of couple that they really weren't. But it feels like something deeper here as to why it's been dismantled. And now everything is lost. Like some type of truth was exposed about who this couple truly is. And it caused for people to make their own judgment calls about either continuing to give to them or support the show, tune in, whatever it is that they were selling. It's not marketable anymore, or it is at least not as highly marketable. It's like people may be more engaged in their despair now, their downfall, as it is with people, especially in social media. It's like, but even that wears off, eventually it's like, okay, next, you're down in the dumps, nothing more to give. All right, fine. Now who's next? Who else can we live vicariously through? It's just like a, I don't know what you call it, like a freaking misery mill, like MILL sometimes with social media. Yeah, look at this. And a mill, like a factory, that's what kind of like a mill is, like just the hits keep on coming, where you fall short and falter, there's another couple that's willing to take your place. Or it's like you're in, next one, you're out, next one's in type of vibe, which is what incites the obsession. Okay, so that's where the addiction comes in, with trying to maintain that image. It's kind of similar to how, you see certain celebrities get caught up, particularly social media celebrities, and like scam. That's why I was feeling that energy, like in like scam exposures. Like for instance, no shade to her, but the girl, what's her name? British, I think it is, from Basketball Wives, how she got indicted in some type of, I want to say life insurance or some type of money scam. And that it was probably on account of trying to keep up her social image, up under all these basketball wives, of which you could clearly see by way of her lifestyle that she was living differently than the others in a way, like just on sight, because of course we know that some of those images probably were false as well. Like everybody's house ain't their house. Some people are renting or even borrowing or whatever. But she was probably trying to stay on that level with those Joneses, especially being a public figure, a celebrity, and being in the public eye. And so sometimes that obsession drives you to do things that it drives you to take certain gambles and risks that you wouldn't take otherwise if you're just living a normal, pure, organic life. And it doesn't mean that to live normal, pure, and organic means you got to be poor, or that you don't get to have certain ambitions for prosperity. But it just means that your perspective of it is balanced in a way where you're not willing to sacrifice your soul or even your freedom, for the purposes of having things, particularly having them faster or at a greater magnitude than you would naturally, just by working for it or saving for it or investing in it, or building your own business or brand, or being content with maybe not having all designer gear, or just within your means. Simply put, living within the means of your present experience. Doesn't mean you can't aspire for more, but it's the reality of where you are and being content with that. And that's funny because I was literally just praying in that vein before I push record, of course. And that's what was coming up for me, that, I know that there's so much in store for me already. I know it, and I'm open to receive it. I'm so excited about it. But I can't help but be so, 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 so grateful for where I am. I'm very thankful. It's almost weird to be as grateful as I am for exactly where I am at this moment. With there being so many things that I desire to be, do, and have, I feel a very pure sense of gratitude for what I'm able to do and who I am and what I have in this moment. It takes a great deal of strength in a world of skewed projections to maintain that spirit. It absolutely does. However, in the long run, it's the sure bet, because to do things in decency and order, in honor and integrity, have a much longer lasting, much longevity than to get it the quick and easy way. It almost always is depleting, and I don't know why. I guess now is the evidence of that truth more than ever before. There maybe wasn't as much evidence. It was probably sparingly, the exposure before, where people felt like, well, no, not me. Well, I'm going to do it this way, or they think they got a genius way to get around the system. Now it's kind of like it's a no-brainer as to how people are kind of falling off left and right, or being exposed, or being indicted, or being sentenced here and there, or things being stripped away from them, because you can't do that anymore. The world has shifted in the sense where you have to live off of your organic frequency, what is natural to you, what you're willing to work for, what you're willing or able to manifest, or even what is due to you on account of the work that you've already put in, which there's that too. But some people put the work in, and a whole hell of a lot of work. That's the funny thing to me. It's like you put in more work to do diabolical things than you would have had to put in to do honorable things. More work. You may have had a more immediate gratification at first, but you still had to put in more work, not just to obtain, but to maintain. Now, I'm sure as people are looking in hindsight, which is probably the reason for the 5 of Cups, it's like crying over spilled milk, wishing you would have took that deal with the 6 of Cups and, took your time to invest even in yourself in an extended temporal way. It's like, it don't even be worth it when you look over what you've gained versus what you've lost. And it's unfortunate that people are having to look backwards to get to that reality now, when they could have seen, the evidence of, they could have seen the stats, or the odds in their favor before they had to lose so greatly, or grossly, I should really say. Yeah, this 8 of Pentacles is like work that was put in anyway, and now it's like you're gonna still have to put in work even more so than what you invested, because now you have less energy to do so. The stakes are still that much higher because you got a great debt to pay, energetically, emotionally, physically, even materially now, and you don't have the support system that you used to be able to earn, that would have pretty much supported you to work smarter and not harder. Let me see what's just this one last card on the end of this 8 of Pentacles. Ooh, that was almost the Emperor though. Justice and the Fool. Wow. And it's, you know what, I'll put these down here because it's gonna fall off the table if I don't. Justice and the Fool. You still get a new beginning or have to start over, and it's going to be just as fair as the energy that you invested. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's on every end of the spectrum. So remember I said, you know, it's like here he is at the Two of Pentacles trying to figure out how to rob Peter to pay Paul. This may even be some answering or reckoning to the justice system on account of the actions that were taken, which is now adding another expense. Somebody might not even be able to afford legal protection or representation at this point, because they worked too hard on things that didn't matter. Here's the Six of Wands. Some victory and success is happening somewhere in the world. Oh, with the Queen of Swords, perhaps. And that could be the energy now. It's like what was left behind is no longer so open as cups here. It's a sword here. It's like, no, it's not. We're moving on. Moving on to success and victory and recognition and what is rightfully due to you. That's the energy of the Six of Wands. Somebody that wasn't afraid to put in the work, that may have been, you know, that was okay with the slower return, or in some cases no return, so it felt and seemed. But in the end, it all paid off. And this is the Six of Wands, is like recognition for your success, but it's also leading the competition with that Five of Wands in the background. It's not like leaving the competition behind. There is no comparison. There is no need to even compete. So this is someone, we're speaking about it, like I said, in the social media, or, you know, the celebrity aspect, that started a platform that may have had a slow burn or whatever, but they didn't take the shortcuts, so they didn't fabricate the falsehoods to gain viewers or subscribers or interest or whatever. They was just being their old little sweet little humble selves, doing what they do day to day, or not, you know, but just living their organic life. And somehow that has paved the way not only for their passion to become to become prosperous, but also for them to kind of, you know, pioneer their own path, because someone was committed to living their life naturally and organically. There is no one else that really expresses their passion the way that you do. So therefore, it is highly valued or engaging or interesting, or it has an audience all its own. It doesn't even necessarily need to be like, you know, blockbuster worthy per se, where you got millions of subscribers and followers and customers and all that good stuff. But it's success by your standards, by your meter, maybe even beyond your expectations to some degree, and is well earned and well deserved. and easy to maintain, because it's with the wand energy, it's you doing what you would want to do naturally anyway. Is following your pure passion, what you love to do, what makes you happy, what excites you, what's exciting, what naturally enlivens you to just keep doing it. The other side is when it was almost a force to do the things that you do because you almost feel an obligation to it. Like it's more than a job. It's damn near a freaking slave driver. Social slave driver is what it is. No, like nobody wants to be a slave to social media or to anything. A slave to scamming, scheming, none of that, just to survive or to maintain this propped up persona, when you could just do what you do for damn near free. It's like the gamble of all gambles, like to really bet on yourself. It doesn't really cost you that much, but the return, the win is the big one. Because if nobody else believes in you but you, there's a quote, I don't know where I've seen that, but apparently Lady Gaga says it a lot. And I saw this video where somebody had, I know who it was, Alexandra Gator. She's an interior designer that I like to watch. And sometimes in her editing, they show this quote of Lady Gaga, who apparently has said this in a million different interviews, that you could be in a room full of 100 people and only one person believes in you. It only takes that one person, to make a difference ultimately, something in that vein. Same here. It's like this, the other side is somebody that wanted everybody to drink the Kool-Aid, wanted to be seen by everybody, to be the best in every way, shape, and form, or just wanted to be known, wanted to be, versus someone that just wants to legitimately believe in themselves, to see the evidence of what that truly yields, to see the manifestation of their own visions, their own passions coming to life. And then the fact that other people are engaged or care to hear what you have to say, or care to like, subscribe, share, buy your product, listen to your song, watch your video, it's like that's added value. The gratitude of where you are presently in your own skin organically is the biggest payoff. It don't get no better than that. Everything else is just a plus. And the other way, if you don't have that grounded, that foundation of gratitude for self, grace for self, you could have all the money in the world or hundreds of people investing in you or believing in you, and it still would make you feel like none of it matters. None of it is worth much, to the point where it's always necessary to gain more, to gather more, to harvest more, because you could never be too self-assured. You could not even self-assured. You can never be too assured from the outside, because there is no self-assurance on the inside. That's the difference. But, like I said, oh wait, hold on. Did I even pull this? No, I didn't. Oh, look at that. The Chariot card, and I almost missed the opportunity to catch in the spirit, moving forward. Not just moving ahead, but also moving forward. I love these two together. Moving on and moving forward. Sure shot when you bet on yourself. Interesting. All right, well, think I'm gonna leave it there for now. And I just completely ruined these cards, but I didn't know where else to put this. Yeah, because, and you know, it goes back even to the relationship piece of where this guy clearly bet wrong in the first place. It's like, to even feel like you needed a partnership to advance to any desirable determination was the first faulty start. Because he, you know, if you can't find the value in yourself to be a solo act in one way, shape, or form, then that's already the invitation, the red flag, personally, the invitation for you to beef up your own self-awareness and self-esteem, because that would then put you in a position, as I've said, with the betting energy, to gamble on anything outside of yourself because you almost feel like you need it to add value to you. Someone that comes to the table kind of knowing that they hold all the value that's needed, or at least that they need to be successful, isn't so easily willing to take high risk gambles on energies that don't yield great stakes, you know. And this is like somebody that they saw, it's not like they took the gamble and it was like, oh, okay, I lost. It's somebody that kept losing over and over again, but still kept, like I said, they couldn't step away from the table. They kept putting it all in. Let me backtrack, because there were some wins, and maybe that was a thing, you know. It's like when you win, but then you lose a hand, and you win a couple, then you lose. It's like somebody that didn't weigh the losses against the wins to know that they actually were in the red, like they were in the hole more than they were not, you know. So still, it was like some type of obsession with winning at all costs to some degree, whether it had been to prove himself or, like I said, to make good on what was already wagered. But either way, it just ended up being a great loss of self in the end, because he didn't initially have the advantage of his own personal security and esteem. That's the reason why I don't gamble, is because I like the money in my pocket. I don't gamble on, or I don't find it fun to lose. And yeah, I'm lucky enough that I probably would win a little bit, but personally, like, I like to take my chances elsewhere. You know, I like to keep my money with me, because as they say, right, the house always wins. I know that's a saying. And I'd rather not bet against the house. I like my odds a lot better. Rather take that money, my energy, my time, which is all what pentacles are, my gifts, my talents, my attention, even, all of that is pentacle energy. I'd rather take that and invest it where I know it can be multiplied on things that actually magnify me and my interest and my passions, than to squander it outside of myself on things and people and places that you may never see a return on, and in some ways that are actually pitted to make you lose, you know, i.e. the house. So, all right, I'm gonna leave it there before I stumble on any more gambling terms than I already have. But if you're a gambler, or you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm trying to get across. And I think energetically, even if you're not, you feel me. So take whatever resonates, leave the rest, of course. But the key is to definitely bet on yourself. Go all in on you. you can do that unapologetically. And hell, sometimes it might be a win, sometimes it might feel like a loss, but it's still a sure shot to bet on your prosperity, your productivity above all else. A loss really is not real, it's not so much of a loss. It's just an opportunity to readjust and to place a new bet, perhaps. Pull the lever one more time until you hit that jackpot. All right, so anyway, have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening and watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.